You may say that I only have 2 eyes and how can I possibly use all of these eyeshadows? But what if actually I'm a biblical angel with 1,000 eyes set in flaming wheels? You did not think about that, did you? Hi friends, thank you for watching. Welcome to my eyeshadow palette collection video of 2021. I'm using this video as an occasion to take stock of everything that I have and keep a record of all of the eyeshadow palettes that are in my life in 2021. Let's start with my top shelf palettes that are actually here, which I keep because I love them and because they're really pretty and they're good for decorative purposes as well as makeup. We're going to start with the very expensive Natasha Denona Sunrise palette. This is how she looks like. It's nice, it's beautiful, it's not $65 worth of beautiful. I have a video review with it, I have several looks with it on Instagram. Yeah, it's pretty. I'm never decluttering this because it cost me a kidney and my firstborn. Next we have the Zeeasea British Museum palette. This is how she looks like. It's a very pretty neutral palette with some pops of interesting textures and duochromes. I hate this glitter, it's useless. I really like Zeeasea as a brand. They make really heavy, really luxurious feeling makeup and it's always an experience to use them, which is really nice. Up next we have a gift from my mother for my birthday in 2020. This is the MAC Pony collection, the one that was all mystical like the tarot cards. This is a really nice packaging. It brings joy just looking at it, you know? So we've got an assortment of neutral shades, some neutral browns and pinkish dusty rosy tones. I really like this palette. It's the perfect capsule daily palette, very subtle. These shimmers are not the kind of shimmers that punch you in the face. They're more daytime shimmers, you know, but I really do enjoy it nonetheless. Speaking of things that don't pack a punch, this is the Naked 3 from Urban Decay, which I am keeping purely out of spite. I just like the shades individually, but I'm not in love with the palette itself. I feel it's too dusty, way too cool toned for me, but it's one of my first big girl palettes. It's the palette that I bought because I was so hyped up over Urban Decay. So I'm just keeping it out of spite. I'll probably get buried with it like pharaohs of old. Up next we have my two Zoeva palettes. This is the Eclectic Eyes and the Spice of Life. I really like Zoeva formula. Their mattes blend themselves. The shimmers are just a bit chunky, more on the satin side, but they're really pretty and they do have a lot of depth to them. You would not tell it looking at some of the pans, but most of their shimmers have a very, very slight duochrome to them that really adds dimension to your look. Okay, let's get rid of this boy over here. This is a big boy. This is the Beauty Bay Bright Matte palette, and this is one of my most recent purchases because I realized that after doing the grave mistake of decluttering the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil, which was ancient, I was left without a proper workhorse rainbow palette. I thought I wouldn't need it. Guess what? I needed it in a couple of looks later and I had to make do and I got very frustrated, so I got myself a big, ginormous rainbow palette. I'm kind of displeased with this packaging. It's not inspiring to me. What I'm thinking of doing is painting over it or putting some washi tape. So I'm just putting this in as a future project to complete. I have two of the Kaleidos palettes. I've got the Futurism 3 Astro Pink. Very beautiful. I love the packaging. The packaging is so luxurious feeling. This is literally a decorated brick. And the Kaleidos Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green. I really like Kaleidos' shimmers. I don't think their mattes are the most easy formula to work with. I feel that they are palettes meant for people with a medium to high makeup experience, not necessarily for regular makeup users, but These always give out the most beautiful creative looks and their shimmers are stunning. Let's talk Colourpop. I'm becoming quite disillusioned with them. I feel their glory days are over. I am disappointed in a lot of their decisions, so I've been skipping a lot of their palettes. These are the palettes from a couple of years ago. The Colourpop Good Sport, one of the best hands down autumn winter palettes that I have. Absolutely gorgeous top to bottom. I like how everything performs. I like the shimmers, I like the mattes. Just beautiful palette overall. We have the Sweet Talk, which is a beautiful neutral corally option. I love the packaging. So these three palettes I've not depotted because I like the packaging. Others, from them I do just have the singles. I've replaced the shitty pressed glitters in here with something else entirely. I think these two were from the You Had Me at Hello palette previously, but it works really well with the color scheme. I have the Through My Eyes with I Love Sarahi. Very beautiful, deep summer palette with a lot of interesting tones and choices. I have three of the Huda palettes. The latest one is the Khaki Haze, which was a gift. And it's so pretty. It's a very beautiful neutral palette, but I don't think it has the magic that her other palettes have for some reason. It is still really pretty. I like it. The Nude Light, which is the perfect everyday palette for light pinkish fairy looks. The Huda Beauty Neon Greens, which is one of my favorite palettes of life. This is perfect for light pastel fairy looks, not for neon. This would have had much more success if it wasn't advertised as neon but as pastel. I love the shimmer so much. They're so sparkly and multi-dimensional and slightly translucent, so you can layer them on top of everything else. This is a Chinese brand that I've been meaning to try for quite a while. It's called Catkin, and I've kept seeing their palettes on AliExpress. The packaging looks so luxurious. The color scheme is very subtle. If you're not aware, Asian makeup is usually less pigmented, more sheer, more sparkly than Western makeup. They prefer more translucent finishes and easier blends. And this is exactly what I got with these. They're really pretty. I'll do a review on my channel sometimes soon this year. This glitter shade, absolutely obnoxious and useless, but it is what it is. I feel I like the smaller palette better than this one. Nabla is very, very prominent in my collection. This is the Nabla Poison Garden, one of their, I would say their only mediocre palette, but I paid money for it. I love Nabla. I'm still using this as much as I can. I love using Adagio as an eyebrow powder and the rest as regular eyeshadows. This is the newest palette. This is the Side by Side Nude palette. I haven't used this much yet. I plan to do 4 looks on Instagram with it. Let me know if you would want a 3 looks 1 palette on YouTube with it. This is really beautiful. The few times that I've used this, I've been really, really enjoying it. The quality is, from what I've superficially gathered, absolutely superb. And I love how this is a capsule palette of every neutral shade that you could possibly need. The Nabla Dreamy, this is my first palette from them. Very beautiful rose gold purple palette. Love this one. Nabla Dreamy 2, one of my favorite palettes of 2020 because it's so much fun. It's a very unique color scheme. Every shade can be used as both a companion shade to a matte look as well as a one shadow look. Dionysus is one of my favorite red shades in my collection. I literally don't need any other matte red. Really like this one. Nabla Soul Blooming, my favorite palette from them, and they are discontinuing it. Look, I don't know. Who do I need to fist fight at Nabla headquarters? Who took this decision? Meet me in the town square, duel me to the death. What were you thinking? Beautiful pastel spring color scheme with some neutrals sprinkled in. My favorite palette in my collection by far. This is the Pat McGrath little 5-pan. These are very, very nice, but they are comparable to other single shadows in my collection, specifically Sydney Grace. I love using them, and I love the experience of using Pat McGrath, but I don't necessarily think you need them in your life. This is the Naked Petite Heat. A friend of mine decluttered this to me. It's a very cute, warm capsule palette. Nothing to say about it. The shades blend themselves, but they're nothing extraordinary either. Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes, another favorite palette in my collection. These are my perfect tones. Look, I know I keep saying this is my favorite, and there's no usage visible on it, but it's because I literally have such a light hand, and I prefer washes of color as opposed to stippling. So because I use very, very fluffy brushes, only the top layer gets taken off. They are well loved, and I love this. I love the peach scent. It's very fragrant, something to look out for. Beauty Bay Pastels, another controversial love of mine. A lot of people disliked this, but I actually really enjoy it. It's great for washes of color. These tones don't like to be layered more than 3 or 4 at a time, so they're great for 2 or 3 shadow looks max. But I feel they would pull a little bit ashy on someone that is darker than me, but on me they work really well. KVD Alchemist palette, a birthday gift from long ago. I still really like this. I did not declutter it even when Kat Von Disease was still at the helm of the company. I just didn't publicly use it. Really like this one. Golden Twilight palette. It's a very tiny BH Cosmetics palette. I love how small these pans are. Gives you a lot of variety in a very tiny space. Not a fan of the packaging, but I also don't want to be potted and risk ruining it, because I really like how it looks overall. This is one of my favorite duochromes in my collection. It's a blue-brown type of affair. Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe palette. One of my friends decluttered this to me because she wasn't using this enough. Very beautiful palette. Absolutely gorgeous green and orange tones. Beautiful quality. I would say this is one of their better palettes. I'm usually not a fan of Juvia's Place formula, and that's why I don't have many palettes from them. I've decluttered some. This though just tickles my pear. Beautiful. We have the Douce palette, which is a great multitasking palette for someone that is close to my skin tone at least. These can be used as highlighters, these can be used as blush, this can be used as an eyebrow powder, and the rest of course can be used as regular eyeshadows. I really like this one. And now we have my depotted single shadows. This is the Neutral palette. These are Urban Decay depotted. This is the Colourpop Brown Sugar. Some from their You Had Me at Hello palette, and these I feel are Sydney Grace shadows and a look-see. My little Nabla palette. These are all Nabla singles except this one and this one. My quick capsule look palette. These are all of the duochromes that I love pulling, or I loved when I was still going to work in a proper office. And I love to do one of these on the lid and then a random matte in the crease. So I kind of made one of these custom little palettes to match my usage of them. This is from Forever Lash. Ow! Oh, I caught my skin. Ah, fuck. No, it hurts. This is from Forever Lash. This is a Romanian brand. They don't have international shipping, so I keep these separate. I really like these. They're very creamy, but that also means that they crease a lot. But they're like very striking. I love them very much. This is my Bernovich palette. I'm waiting for a second order from them, so I'm just keeping the palette empty until the rest arrive. This is my purple palette with a hint of pink. Lots of brands in here. I've got Nabla, Neve, Igneous Cosmetics, Sydney Grace, Luxie, lots of stuff. And this is my green blue palette. Lots and lots of Sydney Grace. These here bigger ones are Neve Cosmetics. These are Luxie, and they took a dive. This is not a true pan. They just tried to unalive themselves. The square ones are Menagerie. These are all of my eyeshadow palettes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave down your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to have a wonderful morning, evening, second breakfast, third lunch, or whatever it is you're from. Bye!